Yeah, good morning. It's certainly a very different space to what employers have been used to. If you trace this journey back over, the last decade or so, we're talking to employers as our clients on a daily basis, and the challenges when it comes to keeping people and the challenges when it comes to attracting people are at levels that I have just not heard these organisations experience. Um, they are finding that it is an extremely competitive market. It's an environment where the combined effect of employees knowing that they are marketable, that they can command a lot more than what they might have been able to command previously. Nothing is off the table in terms of what you can ask for if you're a candidate looking for work, and people's price point in terms of remuneration has gone up 15, 20, and in some instances up to 40, 50%, depending on the industry. Employers are struggling because they certainly have not seen in the majority of industries that same uplift in terms of their financial performance that can warrant them just throwing money at people for them to stay. And this is just something, as you say, it's not likely to change in the foreseeable future, because what we're seeing is that employers are so desperate to get people in that they are just saying yes. And they are incurring that additional financial burden in terms of remuneration and on costs, just because that's what they need in order to service their customer base or client base or whatever else it might be. Really tough times.
How long do you think this will persist? Do you think it's basically a situation where, perhaps because the economy is running so hot, presumably, a lot of economists tell us that employers are just in a position of less power than they have been in the past. They're finding difficulties adjusting to that, and that maybe if things start to cool off in the economy, maybe migration comes back, things like that, that will sort of see some of these challenges subside.
I think so. I think that migration point you make is a very good one. It'll be interesting to see how that impacts all of this. The other reality is that the way people work, the way people perceive work, and what people have learned at a personal level, at a domestic level, the reprioritisation of people, of their lives, and how work fits in with their lives, and that significant discussion around the Great Resignation over the better part of the last year. All of this has radically changed. Employers are looking at new and different ways of competing for talent. The whole working from home thing, whether it's hybrid working, whether it's complete working from home, is at odds with what a lot of employers still believe is in the best interests of their business, which is trying to get people to work in the manner that they did pre-pandemic. Existing employees, candidates are looking at what other employers are doing, whether it's in the same industry or not, and they're saying understandably, well, look, it seems to me that the vast majority of employers are offering hybrid or offering fully work from home. If you're talking to me, even if you're willing to throw a lot more money than what I'm currently earning, but that requires me to do 5 days from an office or a factory or whatever else, that's just not as appealing to me. But I also know that I'm still going to make more money from a remuneration point of view, as well as get that flexibility. So it's just massive upsides. And there are a lot of employers, particularly smaller and medium-sized employers, who are really struggling to compete with that. What's going to change, I think, is only the point at which this variability in terms of what's offered plateaus. And so that then either normalizes, so it's no longer the excitement of novelty that attracts people to it, or employers just start saying no. In other words, employers striking back and saying, we're not going to be held to ransom anymore. We're actually going to start taking things back off the table. And once everyone starts doing that, well, that'll change the landscape.